Hey yo, what is up guys, it's DPX here. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast, DPX Talks. For about an hour. I am alone again. But this time, it's not because I slacked on getting a guest. It's because I was going to have my friend Zach on here. But then I realized this is a bit of a weak episode. I wanted to get one out this month. You know, I was going to just skip this month altogether, but I like doing the podcast. And also, I got a cool little announcement about the podcast, and I want an episode to go along with it, if you know what I mean. And there are a few things I want to talk about. There's not even any, briefer topics. We got 9 topics, and they're all, some of them are quicker than others, but, there's not going to be a briefer topics segment. But, yeah, it is on November 28th, 2021, and, although, if you're on SoundCloud, you'll probably hear this by then. If you're on YouTube, this is definitely going up on the 29th. And I want to talk about SoundCloud for a second. If you follow the podcast on SoundCloud, you might have noticed that there are only 3 episodes at a time, and if I want to upload a 4th one, I gotta delete one of them. So you may have noticed there have only been 3 episodes at a time. Well, I hope there's no catch. I hope there's not anything I'm missing. Or else this would just be completely, incorrect. But now I have paid up. I'm paying the premium thing. So, therefore, I have unlimited episodes. I have unlimited minutes. The reason why I was only able to have 3 episodes at a time is because I had a minute limit, you know. I like the sound of that. But no, I had a minute limit, so it was, each episode is about an hour, hence the name of the podcast. And then on top of that, you put 3 together, that's 3 hours. Often I would exceed the limit. It would be 100 minutes allowed, which I don't know how that works, because if I have 3 hours, that's way more than 100 minutes, but whatever. But yeah, I've gotten around it. I'm paying up, and I will be able to hopefully I'll be able to have more than 1 episode up at a time. And who knows, maybe I'll be able to start to get paid. So if you're on YouTube, please go to the SoundCloud. Link in the description. Go to the audio version of the podcast and follow it. And hey, if you don't want to, if you are out on a run or at the gym or I don't know, somewhere out in public, you can't really sit at home and watch the YouTube version, pull up the audio version and listen to it. And yeah, you'll be good. So, that's that. The first thing I want to talk about today is, Halo Infinite. I don't really know, I don't really have much to say on, I don't know. Well, I'm not getting Halo Infinite because I don't have an Xbox. If I had an Xbox, I would get Halo, because the game looks fun. I've heard it's fun, but they're launching it for free, or at least the multiplayer is going to be free. And they sort of did a bit of a beta /launch, my bad, which was kind of weird the way they're doing this. It feels like it's a launch, though. It feels like the game is now out, although it's still technically, it's still being, on the stores and shit. It's still a beta. It's being promoted as a beta. So, that's good and all, but I've heard many things about the progression system and shit like that, and I don't know, here's the thing, the game is free to play, which puts it in the same boat as games like, Fortnite, or, Apex, or even Destiny 2 could fall under that. So, they're gonna monetize the shit out of this, unfortunately. And technically, this isn't a free-to-play game, the multiplayer is free-to-play, but, I'm sure the single-player campaign, which is being delayed, by the way, they're launching a multiplayer, from what I know. The single-player campaign is not coming out, or no, it's gonna cost money, which is you know, and there's like some event that went on that a lot of people were mad about. The progression I've heard was dog shit. A lot of shit's going on with this game. I do want to play it. I need an Xbox in order to play it. I'm looking for an Xbox Series X. After the nightmare that was trying to get a PS5, after finally getting a PS5, I need a bit of a, you know, I'm only human. I can't really worry about a Series X right now. If it's available and I feel like buying one and I'm able to buy one, I'll buy one. But it's weird. Every time they go back up, they're $500, not $400, which is weird. I don't understand that. But yeah, that's that. Another thing I want to talk about was Spider-Man: No Way Home comes out it comes out on December 17th, and tickets go on sale tomorrow or today, depending on when you're watching this, or yesterday, depending on when you're watching this. Who knows? But yeah, the 29th, tickets go on sale, and there's been a lot of hype for this movie. This movie is like the most talked about movie. It's the most talked about movie in a while, for sure. Like, you know what? Yeah, no, it's the most talked about movie since Rise of Skywalker. Just movie, period. Which is quite crazy. But here's the thing. I feel like we're getting our expectations up a little too high, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm sure this movie will be good and all. I'm sure, like, it's MCU, it's Spider-Man, you know, Far From Home was great, Homecoming was great. I'm sure this movie will be great too. My issue is people, and I'm going to include myself here, alright? People are all, like, getting their expectations extremely high. Like, a little too high, I feel. And I don't think it's gonna live up. Like, I believe we're getting Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in this movie. I mean, like, you have Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, you have Jamie Foxx's Electro, you have, you know, Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. I feel like they almost definitely had Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in here, and I feel there was some leaked footage and some leaked images. But, like, imagine if they're not in this movie. So let's just think about that for a second. Imagine if they're not in this movie. Imagine the backlash this movie would get. Dude, like, the movie can be fantastic for all you know. But if, you know, Maguire and Garfield are not in this movie, that's all people will talk about. And that's kind of unfortunate. All the hype around this movie are basically just about rumors, you know. Endgame was extremely hyped, but that wasn't based on rumors. Endgame was extremely hyped because it was a 10-year build-up, you know, and it's a movie to follow up an insane cliffhanger. This movie, I don't feel like, I don't know, this movie, it's a little worrying that all the hype surrounding this movie are just rumors. You know, all the hype is like, oh, are we going to see Andrew Maguire, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield? Are we going to see Venom? Are we going to see Morbius? Are we going to see fucking, I don't know, the fucking Throg? It's like, I think we got to relax, you know. I've heard people say, you know, they have to put Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in the trailer because that would sell a shit ton of tickets. Bro, I think you don't need to. I don't even think you need to announce that, and this movie will sell out with tickets. This movie will. Dude, I'm gonna try to see this day one. That might be tough though. I might not be able to see this day one. You know, cause I'm gonna try to see it day one, it might not work though, because this movie is. I was able to see Avengers Endgame like Thursday night, so I should be good here. But it's like worrying that all the rumors are really basically just the main source of hype for this movie. You know, it's not based on fact. Like, obviously, like, people are excited to see Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx and Willem Dafoe back as their respective characters, but that's not gonna that's not what's selling the movie. What's selling the movie to a lot of people. I mean, despite being, you know, an MCU fan and a Spider-Man fan, and despite this being a Marvel movie, of course, like, you put that aside. What's selling people to this movie is the possibility that we're going to see Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. And I think that's a little risky. In many interviews, Andrew Garfield has stated that he's not in this movie. I think in a recent interview, he said, like, I'm done. Stop asking me about Spider-Man, please. And, yeah, I've heard someone say Andrew Garfield might have just put out the performance of his career, and all everyone wants to talk about is Spider-Man. And that kind of sucks. His performance, I haven't seen Tick, Tick, Boom yet. That's the movie they're talking about. I haven't seen it yet. I have it on my watch list, though. So I do intend on seeing that. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard great things about it. I've heard that Andrew Garfield is phenomenal in that movie and deserves an Oscar. I'll have to see. I'm not going to say I disagree because I haven't seen the movie, but yeah, I don't think I've heard Tobey Maguire say anything about it. Has he done anything recently? I feel like he sort of just disappeared from Hollywood. So, yeah, it would be very interesting if they are in the movie and they don't, like, reveal it in the trailers or anything. That's the way you satisfy everyone if they are in the movie. Even if, like, they're little cameos, which I honestly think is the case. I don't think they're gonna be in the movie that much. If you've seen Ghostbusters Afterlife, here's what I could actually imagine it being like. If you've seen Ghostbusters Afterlife, when the at the end, I don't want to say what happens, but at the end of the movie, where that thing happens, that's what I could imagine. That's how I can imagine Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield being in the movie. But yeah, that's just what I think about the hype behind Spider-Man No Way Home. What do you guys think, though? Next up is I want to get into a bit of a rant here. A while back, Activision Blizzard were outed for sexual misconduct allegations, which were, like, there wasn't really any substantial evidence. There's nothing really. Activision Blizzard denied it, but, like, it is, like, all the stuff there are very specific and there's a lot of allegations for it to be false. I think it is basically all but confirmed that these are true allegations, and I talked about it on the podcast. It is fucking horrible. Activision Blizzard fucking suck, and if you guys, I'm still gonna say this, if you guys support Activision Blizzard, you're part of the problem. You're contributing to this in some sort of way. Well, it's been happening a lot. It's been happening for weeks now. More and more stories come out about Bobby Kotick, the CEO of Activision, mainly the Activision part, not the Blizzard part. And apparently, not only did he know about these sexual misconduct allegations, not only did he know about all the shit going on, he fucking, like, didn't care. From what I read up and from what I've heard, he fucking encouraged the boys to do it, you know? From what I heard, he was on he had a plane flight and purposely saw some, like, you know, some hot flight attendants and invited the boys, the creepy boys, you know, to fucking sexually harass them. And apparently also one time, someone who was groping a woman, he was getting fired, but then Bobby Kotick, he's just like, nah, keep him. We just like money. And the board over at Activision Blizzard also like money, which is why they're keeping Bobby Kotick. Well, I need a rant here. How fucking stupid and fucking greedy do you have to be to keep this piece of shit in your company? He's going to take the company down. He's gonna ruin Activision. Alright? The fucking board are filled with absolute dumbasses. Words that I would say, but I would offend a lot of people by saying, so I'm not going to say it. So the best I can say is like dumbasses, idiots, fucking stupid people. I can't even fathom why you would want to keep this piece of shit in your company. And then I realized it's money. These people care about money more than they care about the safety of their employees, more than they care about a good working environment, more than they care about fucking anything else. All they care about is money, which is why they're keeping Bobby Kotick in the company. And Bobby says, oh, I'll leave if I can't fix it. Well, he's gonna do like one thing, one very small, minute thing, and be like, there, I fixed it. Guess I'm staying. And it's like, fuck off. Like, Sony and Microsoft have threatened to take Activision's games off the store, off their digital storefronts, and Nintendo recently followed suit in threatening them. And while that's good, I feel like they actually have to do it, and I don't think they will do it. I don't think they will actually remove the games from the stores, you know. And, like, I feel like someone has to intervene. Bobby Kotick can't be left in charge of Activision. He's going to run the company down. He's going to run it into the ground, and it's going to be beyond the point of no return. Like, you talk about companies that, like, just kill themselves. Like, you know, Atari is a great example of a company that is just dead and buried. You know, remnants of them still exist, but like the classic Atari, the ones that made the 2600 and shit, they're gone. You know, LJN, which are known for making really bad games, but like still, if you like, they're dead and buried. Activision is going to join them. I'm telling you, it might be hyperbole. I'm fucking serious. Activision will fucking end up 6 feet under if they keep this piece of shit, scumbag, dickhead asshole at the helm. I think, I could be mistaken, but when they did the ban on Blitzchung, I believe after a while Congress got involved and made Blizzard reverse the ban. Congress needs to get involved again, or some sort of, like, you know, something like that needs to happen to Bobby Kotick. Because Bobby Kotick, I'm telling you, he's going to fucking run this company into the ground, you know. We like to shit on Activision. We like, Activision's a company that everyone loves to hate. Because they normalized loot boxes. Or I don't know if EA more normalized them, but Activision played a role in, like, introducing them, I feel. The way they handled stuff like, you know, the Guitar Hero and Rock Band series, is the way they just completely pump out Call of Duty so much. Ever since they went yearly, I don't think there's been a single year that they've taken off, and every franchise that's gone yearly within the past like 10 years somewhere within that time frame, they've taken at least 1 year off, except for Call of Duty. And Vanguard, not only the quality of that, but also like the reaction to that shows just how burnt out people are on Call of Duty. And aside from that, they fucked over Spyro, they fucked over Crash, they fucked over Tony Hawk, you know. And recently, they've been cleaning up their act with those franchises and making them, giving them a nice little return to form. But like, people hate Activision is what I'm trying to say. I went off on a little tangent there. People fucking hate Activision because they're scummy. And now we know where their scumbag roots come from. Bobby Kotick needs to fuck off. He needs to resign if he has enough human decency left. And if he doesn't, someone needs to step in and get his ass out of there. And he needs to be fucking blacklisted from the gaming industry. I know he's made Activision a fuck ton of money, but when does that... when is the line drawn? How are you gonna look at this motherfucker and his stupid fucking frog-looking ass face and say, yeah, he did threaten a female employee that he would kill her, but he does make a lot of money. He needs to fuck off. He needs to go. He's going to run Activision into the fucking ground. And once he leaves, he needs to be blacklisted, never to be allowed to step foot inside of any sort of video game company ever again. So yeah, what do you guys think though? Let me know in the comments below. Again, Bobby Kotick, if you are somehow watching this video, I don't know how the fuck you are, but if you are somehow watching this, fuck you. Go fuck yourself. I hope you get fucking blacklisted, bitch. Alright, moving on. That was a bit of a rant. I told you I was going to get into a bit of a rant there. But, next up is, I want to speculate about the Game Awards for a little bit. Just because, you know, I feel like it's worth speculating about. I just want to say on Twitter, the day before the nominees went live, I said, so I think the Game of the Year nominees will be Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank, Deathloop, It Takes Two, and Resident Evil Village. I was right. A lot of people were shocked that Deathloop got nominated for Game of the Year. I'm like, dude, did you see the reviews for Deathloop? Did you fucking see the reviews? Clearly not. You watching or listening, have you seen the reviews for Deathloop? Pause this video, or this podcast, go on YouTube, and search up Deathloop reviews, skip to the end of the videos to check the scores, and check, like, you know, don't check any, like, just, fucking, you know, consumer reviews. Don't check, like, you know, IGN or GameSpot, you know, sites like that, review outlets like that. Check their reviews, and tell me, since the Game Awards are based off of, like, you know, the best review scores and stuff like that, what the critics think, tell me that was not going to get nominated. And a lot of people seem shocked that, Resident Evil Village was there. I feel like that was the most popular game of the year this year. This year didn't really have a game that, like, everyone played. Like, last year, it was Among Us, even though that didn't come out last year, so it was Fall Guys, I guess. The year before that, I'd say... Shit, what was the one from... I actually don't know. It might have been Apex Legends. This year, like, it didn't really have a big game like that, but I guess Resident Evil Village was the closest thing to it. Like, that was probably the most popular game this year. Maybe just because of name value alone, but, like, a lot of my friends played Resident Evil Village. I'd say all 6 of these games are really good games. For the first time in a while, I kind of actually, like, agree with the nominees. Like, it kind of feels like all these games are, like, if any of these games win Game of the Year, I would not be mad. You know, my personal Game of the Year is Psychonauts 2. In fact, here's how I would rank them all from worst to best, or least good, or good to best, you know? Or the order of which I would give them Game of the Year. So, first would be Resident Evil Village. Fantastic game. Then it would be Deathloop. I think that game is actually really good. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10, like all these reviewers gave it. But it's still great. Then it would be... I'm stuck between Ratchet and Clank and It Takes Two. Both of them are fantastic games. I might actually give it to It Takes Two to be number 3 and Ratchet to be 4, because Ratchet's very easy, but I haven't finished It Takes Two yet. So yeah, and then number 2 would be Metroid Dread. Number 1 would be Psychonauts 2. That would be my that would be the order of which I rank them. And also, a lot of people have had issues with the fact that Cyberpunk got nominated for stuff. Now, I've made it very clear that I actually like Cyberpunk. I enjoyed that game. I didn't run into too many bugs. Yada yada yada. I'm not gonna go over it again. But so here's the thing about Cyberpunk being nominated for the Games of the Year. It didn't get nominated for Game of the Year. It didn't really even get nominated for anything too big. It got nominated for Best RPG, which is a bit strange, because I forgot that game was an RPG, and it's there with, like, you know, Tales of Arise. I'm gonna try to remember all of them. Tales of Arise, SMT5, Scarlet Nexus, and Monster Hunter Rise. There we go. I don't know how I remember that, but yeah, and those are more RPG-ish RPGs, you know. And then there's Cyberpunk, which definitely has some RPG elements, but it doesn't really feel like an RPG. I forgot it was an RPG. I don't even think Cyberpunk's gonna win that category. I think it's gonna be either Tales of Arise or Monster Hunter. Then the other category it was nominated for was Best Score and Soundtrack. And a lot of people seem to be mad that it got nominated for stuff. I think you gotta give credit when credit's due. Even if you hate Cyberpunk, I feel like you gotta recognize the score, the soundtrack of that game. The soundtrack bangs. The soundtrack slaps hard, you know. And you know what? I'm gonna say it. I think Cyberpunk deserves to win that category. I think, yeah. I don't remember what the other games nominated for Soundtrack of the Year was, but I think I remember actually picking, when I voted, I remember picking Cyberpunk. And that game, I think, that game had a really good soundtrack. So people are complaining that Cyberpunk got nominated for Game of the Year, or got a few Game Award nominees, but like RPG, yeah, that shows that people are a little strange, you know. Soundtrack, I feel like it deserves soundtrack. But yeah, that's my speculation for the Game Awards. What do you guys think? Okay, moving on to the next topic. I guess I'll review a movie. I haven't reviewed a movie in a while on the podcast. I've reviewed Squid Game last episode, in fact. But that's a show. That's not a movie. So, there's a new movie on HBO Max that dropped, and it's called 8-Bit Christmas. And it's a new Christmas movie, apparently by the same guys who made Elf. And Elf is fantastic, you know. So, yeah, I was looking forward to this movie, and basically it's about a kid named Jake who is trying really hard to get an NES. And they treat the NES like it was this almighty, like, super crazy fucking MacGuffin, you know? Like, if you have the NES, you are the biggest fucking Chad in the whole world. And, yeah, so I watched it, and I thought it was a fine movie. There are definitely issues I had with it. First off, I hate it when movies have these kids that are just much smarter than they should be. Like, obviously, there's certain movies where that's the whole point, but, like, in this, like, Jake's little sister is, like, what, 4 years old, and is, like, smart in a way where it's, like, unbelievable. Like, obviously, she's not, like, a genius, but, like, it's, like, no fucking 4-year-old talks like that. Shut up. You know, there's that, and then there's also, this movie's supposed to take place during the 80s, but there are many, like, music choices. There are there's many songs that play that are not from the 80s. Like, Holding Out for a Hero is not from the 80s. That's from a lot later, and that's in the movie, and it's playing from, like, someone's radio or something like that. Like, really? Can't you have it be music from the 80s? And then they reference 21 Jump Street. That movie came out in 2012. Not the 80s. Why is that referenced here? I thought the ending was nice. The ending had a little message of, just appreciate Christmas for what it is. Appreciate your family. And I thought that was a nice little message, but at the same time, like, the kid never got the NES. I know I just spoiled the movie, but no, the kid never got the NES. The movie is just unresolved, and it's like, yeah, it's established. I had to work for the NES, you know? I had to get it. I had to get a job that summer, and I had to work for it, and I got it. But, like, we never see that. It would have been cool if we saw that, at least, you know? And we don't, and it's kind of disappointing. The whole movie sort of, like, it feels like it's building up to that. It feels like it's building up to, like, the kid getting the NES, and there are a lot of bait and switches. It doesn't pull the trigger on it, which I thought was very interesting. But yeah, it also, there are a lot of, like, weird ass humor. There's a fart joke in the movie, which, by the way, look, I think fart jokes appeal to the lowest common denominator. That's why they're mainly in kids' movies. This is a kid movie, alright? That's why they're mainly in kids' movies, because the people who put those in their kids' movies, they think kids will laugh at anything, and they will, but they don't really make the best movie along with it. There are some good movies that actually have stuff to say, that have fart jokes in them. This movie did have something to say, and had a fart joke. But who farted in that scene? There's one thing to have a fart joke. There's another thing to play a fart sound effect and have people react to it. But, like, that's like, it's like, you want to make a fart joke? Fine, make a fart joke. But, like, I don't even think, it's not a fart joke if you just play the sound and people laugh, you know? Like, no one farted or anything. So, yeah. I thought the movie was fine. It's not offensive or anything. It's a fine movie. I wanted to review it because it was a about video games, you know. And I thought it was interesting. I saw a lot of ads for it on YouTube in front of many YouTube videos I would watch. That would always be there. I'm like, oh, okay, this movie looks interesting. I'll watch it, you know. So I watched it, you know, and it's fine. It's fine. It's on HBO Max. If you want to watch it, give it a watch. But I'm not gonna recommend it necessarily. But if you're gonna watch it, I can't stop you. Like a movie, let's say a really bad movie like Thunder Force, I'm not going to recommend that movie to you, and I'm also going to stop you from watching that. This movie is not necessarily a movie I'm going to recommend to you, but if you want to watch it, I'm sure, like, you won't hate yourself watching it, you know? Yeah, that's my thoughts on 8-Bit Christmas. Moving on to the next topic. We're going a little faster here today. This might be a shorter episode, just so you guys know. But next up is Arcane. Now, I just reviewed Arcane on my channel, and long story short, this show is fucking incredible. You know, it's a League of Legends series. It takes place in the universe of League of Legends. And look, I've never played League of Legends, and I don't have much of a desire to. I'm sure the game is fun. I've heard it's fun. I've heard it's a little too fun, you know. From what I know, people who got into League of Legends can't get out of it. It's an addiction. And that's why I don't want to play it, because I'm afraid I will never get out of that fucking phase of my life. I don't want to play League of Legends, alright? I don't want to get sucked down that rabbit hole, alright? So that being said, I don't really care about League of Legends. I don't care about the characters. Yet this show made me care about these characters. It made me care about this universe that I otherwise couldn't give two flying fucks about. So, yeah, this show was awesome. Really liked it. And recently, they announced it's being renewed for a second season. And my reaction, I can't really say. I was going to say my reaction is fuck yeah. But actually, like, they announced this, and I heard about the announcement before I actually watched the show. I heard the rave reviews it was getting, and I'm like, I gotta watch this. If you haven't watched Arcane, I'm not going to give spoilers, alright? But if you haven't watched Arcane, what are you doing? Even if you're not a League of Legends fan, watch this show. You owe it to yourself to watch this show. I think you'll enjoy it. I feel like everyone will enjoy the show. I don't think there's a single bad episode. And when I say bad, I don't mean like stinker. I think when I say bad, I mean I don't think there's a single episode that's lower than an 8 out of 10. And that is incredibly rare that a show does that. You know, this show has 9 episodes. Usually, most shows have at least one stinker. Or at least one, like, episode. You know. But not this one. This one had 9 episodes that were, like, great to fucking phenomenal. That's what they ranged from. And a lot of the, like, choices, a lot of the moments for characters, you know, a lot of the accidents that happen, like, in the beginning, in the 3rd episode, particularly, you know what I'm talking about? And I'm excited to see Season 2. This first season ended on a cliffhanger, and not as in, like, you know, a cliffhanger that teases the next season, a cliffhanger that it ended in the middle of the action, you know, and I don't really like that too much, but I mean, if it's done well, I'll give it a chance. And also, everything else about the show is awesome. And it's been breaking Netflix records. Obviously, it's not the most viewed show on Netflix. That's Squid Game, which, by the way, Squid Game was renewed for season 2. I forgot to include that as a topic here, but I guess, yeah, a quick little mention about that. But, yeah, it's not as big as Squid Game, but one thing I noticed, I had this pointed out to me, one thing I noticed is, like, Netflix drops all their episodes for a show at once, and while it's a great thing for bingers, it's also kind of like, it drops and then what? You watch it all, talk about it for like a week, you move on. Even with great shows like Cobra Kai or The Witcher or Stranger Things, that happens. Every once in a while, again, you'll get a show like like Squid Game, or even a show like, I believe, Bridgerton. Bridgerton was previously the #1 biggest show on Netflix. I think originally Stranger Things was, like, it got as big as it was, it got as big as we know it as, if you know what I mean. That was worded weirdly, but I hope you know what I mean. It got as big because it was really big. It was really popular when the first season dropped, I believe. But like the later seasons sort of drop and people sort of forget about them. So yeah, this is different though because everyone is talking about Arcane. You had the first 3 episodes drop one week, then the next 3 episodes drop the next week, then the next 3 episodes drop the next week, and within that time, everyone's talking about it. It's been a week, so not as many people are talking about it now, but people were talking about it for longer than they would be if it was all dropped at once. And I think Netflix is going to do this more, and it's interesting. It feels like they're going halfway with like the weekly. It's like half weekly, half drop it all at once. They drop 3 at a time, and that's interesting. So I guess it's the best of both worlds. It satisfies the bingers and it satisfies people who like to watch everything out or watch weekly. And I'd say I'm both people. I like to binge, but I also like to watch them weekly. So I get both. That's cool. Anyways, what do you guys think about Arcane and its record and its record break? I don't know how to say this. What do you think of Arcane and its records that's breaking? What about the fact that season 2 was renewed? Let me know down below. Anyways, we'll move on to this next thing. Is another review for another show that's streaming. It's not on Netflix though. It's on Disney Plus, and it has 2 episodes so far. Hawkeye. Now, of the Disney Plus shows, at least of those that came out this year, there was Loki, there's What If, WandaVision, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I was probably the least excited about this one. It was either this or actually Loki. At least before we saw the trailers for Loki, I wasn't quite sure about how they just bring this guy back from the dead after having a nice send-off. But other than that, like, Hawkeye's definitely like the least interesting character to revolve a show around, I feel. But the trailers came out and they were interesting looking. They looked fine. So I was excited to watch it, and I'm surprised that with this 6-episode season, from what I believe it's 6 episodes, they have 2 episodes out already. So that's a third of, or that's a quarter. Oh no, yeah, that's one. That's 1/3. I forgot to do math for a second. That's 2 out of 6. That's 2/6 of the show already, and we only have 4 episodes left. It's weird to think about. Now, what do I think of Hawkeye season 1, episode 1 and 2? I thoroughly enjoyed it. Obviously, there's some issues, specifically Kate Bishop, which I find to be an interesting character. I've heard complaints that she's unlikable, but I feel like she's in her early 20s, and it's sort of like you're stupid, you're a little, you're not the smartest when you're in your early 20s, I guess. So I guess this is fine for her. I hope she doesn't get too unlikable. So yeah, this is a bit of a passing of the torch type of show, though. This is a show about, really, Hawkeye passing the torch, the mantle of Hawkeye, over to Kate Bishop. And, like, I'm sure Kate Bishop is a cool character in the comics. I think, she's getting a lot popular lately with her appearance in the Avengers game. But I feel like this show about Hawkeye, where he's finally in the limelight, we finally get something about him, isn't really about him, which is a little annoying. But I like the show. I like the episodes. It was good. I found it enjoyable, and yeah, I'm interested in this in Kate Bishop here. It's a interesting show. One complaint I had, though, was, so Kate Bishop comes back from, like, school or whatever to see her mother, who is, engaged with this new guy. And it's so fucking obvious that there's gonna be a twist with him, and that he's bad. Like, it's not even a reveal that he's bad, and already he's such a mustache-twirling villain. Honestly, I expected him to just start... He has a big mustache anyways. I expected him to just start doing this with his mustache, It's like, okay, you gotta be a little more subtle than that. It's way too obvious here. And yeah... That was definitely annoying. They have this new guy who's just such a mustache twirling villain, and it's like, what is this supposed to be a twist? Is this supposed to be a twist? Are we not supposed to know that this man is secret? Is it supposed to be a secret? Is this man supposed to be secretly bad? Because it doesn't seem like that. I feel like you're making it pretty obvious that he's bad. Maybe it's misdirect, Maybe he really is good. Maybe he is innocent, completely fine. But, like, no. But I really enjoyed Hawkeye. What do you guys think about it, though? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, we'll move on to this next topic. This one gets me mad. And this might turn into a bit of a rant as well. So, Star Wars. I'm a big fan of Star Wars. And if you remember last year at the Disney Investor Day thing, where they announced a fuck ton of new Star Wars stuff, along with Marvel and Disney, but, like, for the point of discussion here, Star Wars, you might remember one of the shows was Rangers of the New Republic. And it was interesting. It was going to star characters like Cara Dune and a bunch of other Rangers like her. But then, a few months ago, Gina Carano, the actress behind Cara Dune, said a few things on Twitter, and Disney told her to stop, and she didn't stop, and then Disney fired her, and then now they don't know what to do with Rangers of the New Republic. Now they canceled it. Yep, they canceled Rangers of the New Republic. Which, this one I understand. I'm going to get into a bit of a rant later about just Disney and Lucasfilm here. But I understand this one because, like, when Gina Carano got fired, it started a lot of debate. And, by the way, the debate made me cringe because... I'll get into why in a sec, but it started a lot of debate. Started a lot of arguments A lot of people were attacking Lucasfilm and Disney. They didn't like the decision they made there. But if they like recast Cara Dune, it's gonna do nothing but just bring the controversy back up, the drama back up. And they don't want to do that, so they just shelved it. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people like to say that it was free speech. A violation of free speech. Gina Carano, she can say whatever she wants on Twitter, She can, I guess she could, make anti-masker, comments. I guess she can compare the COVID-19 pandemic to the Holocaust. You can say stupid shit like that, I guess. But what you fuckers tend to not understand about free speech is if she has the free speech to say what she wants on Twitter, Disney and Lucasfilm have the right to decide whether or not they want to be associated with her. So if they want to fire her, they could. So that's that. I don't want to get back into that because this whole debate isn't happening at the moment. But this turns into a bigger issue. How many fucking things did Lucasfilm and Star Wars and Disney announce that aren't happening? Like this one I get. You don't want to start the controversy back up with Gina Carano and shit. I get that. I understand. But it gets to a point where it's like enough already. Because recently there have been reports that excuse me. Okay. Recently there have been reports that Rogue Squadron, the movie that Patty Jenkins is working on, is being delayed because of creative differences. And apparently they haven't even thought of a script. How do you have that fucking whole, trailer where you're at that, fighter jet pilot thingamajigger and you don't have a fucking script? Are you kidding me? Get your fucking shit together. Why is Kathleen Kennedy... Look, I've heard that she's a great producer. From what I know, the movies she's produced are fucking fantastic. And what you guys don't understand, I've said this before to people and they, I don't know about that DPX. The thing is, she's not a producer of these Star Wars films. Or at least... I'm not sure. She might be, but, that's not why these Star Wars films are getting fucked over so much. She's a studio exec. She's a fucking terrible... I'm just gonna say it. She's a fucking terrible studio exec. She can't be a studio exec. She can't do it. It's just not... She can't. Again, Rangers of the New Republic, I understand why they're canceling that. It's really, out of their control. But stuff like, Rogue Squadron, come on. Figure your shit out. You settle on a script and then you announce the project and everything. You don't do it backwards. Enough already with this. Stop. It's gonna come to a point where, we can't trust them with, what they... announce, what they have a bajillion Star Wars projects, a bunch of Star Wars movies in the pipelines. They have the Kevin Feige movie, they have the Taika Waititi movie, they have the High Republic movies. Remember Rian Johnson was supposed to make his own trilogy? Yeah, what's happening to all those? Every movie I just listed, what's happening to them? I don't know. I don't know what's happening with them. So yeah, that's what I think about that. One more topic, and it's the Discord topic. If you guys do not know, there is the MeCast Discord server down below, and if you want, that is where if you scroll down to the category of requests/Q&A, and the very first channel should be podcast topics, where I put up a poll of 3 topics. You guys decide which topic I talk about, And the winner, I talk about it. So your topics here are: should all games have an easy mode? When will companies learn to not rush games? Or what games next year should be delayed? And the winner was: when will companies learn to not rush games? Now, this is an interesting topic because when Cyberpunk came out, again, I liked the game, but I'm not going to deny that it was buggy and glitchy. It definitely was. And that seemed to send a message to a lot of people. Because you notice a lot of games got delayed out of this year until next year. I want to, obviously part of that is the pandemic, but I also feel like another part of that is they see what happened with Cyberpunk. They see just how much of a disastrous mess that whole debacle was. And they're like, we don't want to deal with that. Like, fucking CD Projekt Red are getting sued by their investors right now. That's how fucking crazy it got for them. That was a catastrophic failure. And I don't mean the game is, like, there are definitely worse games out there. You know, Cyberpunk at its worst. There are worse games out there, but, like, the debacle is one of the worst of all time, I feel. So, yeah, that's that. And for a while, we haven't seen many buggy and glitchy games. And then, within the span of a week, 2 very notorious ones came out. Sorry about that. That was some shit on the ground. There was the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition, and there was Battlefield 2042. Now, I feel with Battlefield, there was a fucking massive Day 1 patch. There must have been. Because it was, like, it was not that buggy or glitchy when I played it. It wasn't. And it's not like a Cyberpunk issue where I just had a better experience. It was a different game. Like, obviously, you're probably listening to me here being like, did we play the same game? I don't think we did. There must have been the biggest Day 1 patch of all time. Because the game's fun. The game is playable, and it didn't crash on me. But I saw the, like, early access footage, and it's unacceptable. That footage, that game, you get early access by pre-ordering a digital deluxe version, right? That means you spent not $60, not $70, like $90 or $100 to play the game early, and you get that. The GTA Trilogy also pisses me off. Because it's like, that one I feel, if they delayed it just a few months, like Cyberpunk needed, like, potentially another year before it was ready. If they delayed, like, the GTA Trilogy needed a few months. They could have delayed it a few months. And I get why they wanted to rush this game out. They needed a game for the holiday, you know? They were going to have, you know... they couldn't have the GTA 5 Enhanced Edition come out in time, so they were gonna put out they're like, shit, real quick, GTA Trilogy, but like, Rockstar, before GTA Trilogy, what was the last game you put out? Unless I'm forgetting one, Red Dead Redemption 2. Was there any game where you're like, shit, we need a game out before the end of 2019, or the end of 2018, or, no, the 2020? No, there was not. You could have delayed GTA Trilogy. You fucking could have. And you should have. Because I'm sure if the GTA Trilogy was polished enough, it would have been the definitive edition. I didn't have much issues with GTA San Andreas. That game was all smooth. It didn't crash on me once. GTA 3 crashed on me every time I drove a vehicle into water, which was weird. And Vice City crashed on me every time the first fucking cutscene ended. Battlefield 2042, that game was definitely polished. It didn't crash on me once. It wasn't polished for the early access players. And that's kind of fucked up, actually. Like, you have that version as a pre-order bonus. The pre-order bonus is that you get to play the game early. And it's not just an ordinary pre-order bonus. The pre-order bonus, it's the deluxe edition pre-order bonus. You get to play the game early. So, by charging people extra to play the game early and you give them that's fucking scummy. Now, EA, they wanted a game out before the end of the year. But fuck that. Dude, it seemed like for a year we were... we started to see the effects of Cyberpunk. And then these two guys come out, and it seems that we're back to square one, Like, I remember they delayed games like Hogwarts Legacy just completely out of this year. They delayed Gotham Knights completely out of this year. Those two games were supposed to come out this year, and they didn't. Like, and it wasn't like the end of the year where they delayed them. It was like within the first half of 2021, they delayed those games out of this year. And I feel like they very well, I feel like they knew what would have happened if they didn't do that. What if Gotham Knights, for example, was released this year? And, that could have been a huge disaster. Because of all the bugs and glitches in it, possibly. So when will companies learn? Here's the thing. If they didn't learn from Cyberpunk, I don't think they ever will. It's sad. I get it. Yeah, it's not what you want to hear. But I don't think they ever will learn. If you're a fucking video game company and you look at the debacle, the fucking embarrassing, disastrous mess of a debacle Cyberpunk was, and you don't take that as a wake-up call, I don't know what you take as a wake-up call. Because again, Cyberpunk, I thoroughly enjoyed the game, but it released in an embarrassing state. But the state of which that game released was not as bad as some other games, obviously. But just the outcome is something that I would I would assume most companies would not want to replicate. But I guess I'm wrong. I don't think they will ever learn. I think they want money. They want to meet deadlines. Even if they could delay them to ensure quality. But yeah, that's my take on that. Anyways, that's this episode of DPX Talks for about an hour. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you're watching on YouTube, go over to my SoundCloud and give it a follow. I don't even think you need to listen to me. Just give me a follow because we're getting somewhere. We'll get somewhere on SoundCloud, alright? If you're on SoundCloud, go to my YouTube channel, DPX Solo. And yeah, we'll be back in another month with another episode. Maybe I'll do a normal one, but I'm hoping to get some other people on here, and we'll do a Spider-Man No Way Home spoiler discussion next month. Maybe we'll see. But anyways, bye guys.